This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
It makes meal times fun, and it's great entertainment for my table mates.
Tonight, futuristic feeder. Seniors at a Victoria care home are the first to use a brand new mobility aid powered by AI. Also tonight.
Central Sand should always be part of any type of conversation involving regionalization, amalgamation.
The push for a more productive island policing model continues as authorities in Central Saanich look to join the conversation. Plus, Adam finds out how a young woman is overcoming adversity by giving back and occasionally singing a song about a chicken. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a helping hand that turned into a robotic arm. A local long-term care facility is embracing a high-tech tool that came from a fundraiser inspired by some occupational therapists. CTV's Yvonne Raymond shows us the results are putting smiles on faces around the dinner table.
Now it says good morning.
A robotic arm that Audrey Harry has dubbed Edward the Eater is turning heads with a smile. Or in this case, through a demo.
It makes meal times fun, and it's great entertainment for my table mates. They love watching me eat, and they comment on whether the spoon's working properly, whether it's too full or whether it took too big a bite. They've got lots to say about it.
Occupational therapists at her long-term care home in Victoria advocated to bring the tool to Vancouver Island.
As an OT, our job is to try to promote independence as long as possible. And so something like this is, life-changing.
I push the scoop button and it scoops a mouthful of food.
Since losing function in her hands, Audrey was being fed by staff and says she quickly took up an offer to turn to technology instead.
It's very hard when you get older and start losing bits here and there, and because I was always a very independent person, so there's a certain amount of dignity to not having to be fed.
She's grateful to the charity that fundraised thousands to pay for the robot.
We've purchased 5 so far, but we already have requests for 7 more, and we think that there's going to be a lot of need for these, so we're hoping that more Vancouver Islanders will join with us to help us bring these to more local care homes.
The former nurse thinks it's easy to use.
When I'm ready for the next mouthful, I push the button again.
She agrees, though, the gadget is not for everyone.
You need to have an amount of cognition and attention that allows you to focus on everything that's happening in a dining room during a mealtime, but also be able to focus on what's happening in front of you.
For Audrey, the robot is a source of relief, giving her the power to ask for help if she needs it.
Thank you for the meal.
Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Victoria.
Now to the latest in our series of stories on the quest for a better policing model in southern Vancouver Island. 4 local mayors are exploring their options with the help of the public safety minister. But as CTV's Anna McMillan shows us, one municipality is notably absent from the table.
As the mayors of Victoria, Esquimalt, Oak Bay and Saanich explore whether a regional police force could work in Greater Victoria, one municipality has been left out of the conversation.
Central Sand should always be part of any type of conversation involving regionalization, amalgamation.
Central Saanich's mayor, Ryan Windsor, wasn't part of a recent meeting between the public safety minister and 4 local mayors, where they committed to exploring models that could unite their fragmented municipal police departments. While Windsor wasn't available for an interview, Victoria's mayor offered her thoughts.
Given the geographical difference, the demographic difference, the fact that they have a very close and very rich relationship with 4 nations, and that they're surrounded, as I say, by RCMP service, I think that's a kind of a different conversation.
Central Saanich Police Chief Ian Lawson says any regionalization conversation should be evidence-based.
What are the cost factors? What is the governance and the accountability function going to be? And more importantly, how is the impact going to be within the community?
The Public Safety Ministry says it will take all of that into consideration when assessing alternative policing models for Greater Victoria.
Often we make assumptions, cost savings, or there's automatically going to be some efficiencies. However, we have to look at what that research is going to be, what the evidence is going to suggest.
A former Ontario Provincial Police Commissioner has seen many small departments amalgamate in that province.
Peel and Niagara, etc., it's thriving to this day as very efficient police services. But it has to be for the people. It has to be what the elected representatives and the communities want based on measurable, attainable efficiencies, I think.
It could be a hard sell in a community where many people know the officers by name.
We need to be accountable to our community and to be able to adequately explain, rationalize, and demonstrate how we are using the resources that we are given.
Anna McMillan, CTV News, Central Saanich.
The province has unveiled its plan for growing the economy, one that involves accelerating major projects through a growing skilled workforce. Premier David Eby says the Look West plan includes $240 million for training skilled trades over the next 3 years and will lead to $200 billion in investment over the next decade. The province says it plans to expand various sectors ranging from tech to life sciences, and the Premier contends that BC will be the engine of the Canadian economy.
We are disproportionately represented in the list of major projects in this country, as we should be, because we are bringing forward shovel-ready projects and projects that are in the final stages of investment decision that will actually show all of the benefits that all Canadians are hoping for.
The plan was released the same day as a virtual meeting involving the Prime Minister and all the premiers. Meanwhile, the BC Conservatives say concerns over private property rights will likely hamper the business investment climate. An emergency response team is on site after a loaded U.S. freight barge began taking on water and listing near Bella Bella. The Canadian Coast Guard says the tug and barge were transiting from Alaska to Seattle when the barge started to take on water in Fisher Channel. What exactly is being transported is unconfirmed. However, the vessel is carrying hundreds of shipping containers, some with vehicles perched on them. Healthsick Nation's Marine Response Team is also investigating and has been monitoring the barge for any environmental impacts. The team tells CTV News it appears the vessel may have struck ground and there's a significant hole in the bottom of the barge. After the province outsourced the building of the new BC ferries to China, a new poll indicates an overwhelming number of British Columbians want to see shipbuilding jobs stay here. 84% of British Columbians want to see those jobs being kept on our coast. The poll, conducted by Leger and commissioned by the Build Them Here Shipbuilding Coalition, found the majority of respondents want the province to develop a plan to keep those jobs and expertise in BC. The poll also found that 61% say ferries should be built in BC, even if it costs more. 23% prefer the cheaper offshore option.
I think there's British Columbians see that there's a financial value to that, whether that's, thousands of jobs being created in BC or, millions or billions of dollars back into the economy. And that makes sense as opposed to just shipping money overseas and investing effectively in trades positions and construction with materials that Canada has in a foreign country.
Just over 1,000 people from across BC were polled. The study was conducted earlier this month online during a 2-day period. Construction is currently underway in Sooke on a new and revamped skate park. The original park was built by the local Rotary Club in 1997, and last year it had reached the end of its life. The park was then closed as it was deemed unsafe. That's when the region's Recreation Commission decided the best fix would be to build a new skate park on the same footprint. The project is coming in around $1.1 million, and it was designed by a panel of youth from Sooke's skateboarding community.
It's what the kids want. They want this, and they want a place that they can go play basketball after school hours. So we're 1 out of 2, and we're working on the other one. So the kids are our future, and these people only a few years will be voting. Not that they need to vote for me, probably, but we're running in a few years. But this is their community too.
During construction, a temporary park has been put together at Ravens Ridge near Sun River Estate. The new skate park is expected to be complete in the spring. Victoria's Our Place Drop-In Centre has been chosen as this year's recipient of the Tim Hortons Holiday Smile Cookie campaign for the region. From now until Sunday, $1 of every Smile cookie sold in one of 22 Tim Hortons locations in Greater Victoria will go to Our Place to be used for its meal programs. Every year, the nonprofit serves more than 500,000 meals funded by community donors. Our Place isn't sure how much money to expect from the yearly fundraiser, but says every dollar counts when it comes to helping feed those less fortunate in our community.
All the money raised will be going towards our community centre at 919 Pandora. It will mostly be going into our food program. We're serving 3 meals every day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. So this money really helps feed that program. It's a difficult time for donations, so anything we can do to bring in money to help feed people and get them warm and dry is essential.
A Smile cookie will cost you $2. The second dollar will go towards Tim Hortons Foundation camps. Still to come, a rare look at the marvelous intelligence of BC's sea wolves. Plus,
absolutely confident that I'll be holding this government to account, and we'll be fighting hard for everyday people.
The federal opposition remains staunch in their criticism after the tumultuous confidence vote of Mark Carney's budget.
Mostly cloudy and 8 degrees in Victoria right now. We got to 10 for a daytime high, and we'll see similar temperatures over the coming days. Some showers before the week is out as well. We'll get into that in just a few minutes.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
What makes West Shore Parks and Recreation a perfect place to play? It's our staff, working behind the scenes to keep the pool safe, kids engaged, and programs thriving. So apply today and join our team.
Josh joins us now. It is November, so I think anything that you say, I'm just going to have an umbrella in my back pocket for.
That's not a bad idea, because it is, at least in Victoria, it is going to be pretty scattered and hit and miss if we see anything in the next 24 to 36 hours. It does get a little bit steadier a little later on in the forecast. We'll show you that in a second. 9 degrees in Victoria right now after hitting 9.6 for a daytime high. We talked about this yesterday. We've had an entire week of days with temperatures in the 9 to 11 degree range. We'll see another week of temperatures in the 9 to 11. Not much change to temperatures over the next little while. There's your mostly cloudy skies, although it's really thin, low cloud cover in Victoria. This is the thicker stuff coming in with this next system, which will bring some cloud cover overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning to the island, but not much in the way of rain until late in the day tomorrow for western and northern parts of the island. By overnight tomorrow night, into the wee hours of Thursday, you might start to see some showers in Victoria, and then that's off and on in the Victoria area through the day Thursday. A little steadier, though, along the west coast from Tofino to the south, and Nanaimo, Comox as well. Seeing some steadier rain on Thursday. Inland areas as well, seeing some showers on the way for Thursday. In the north, windy tomorrow as that system blows in, 8 degrees. We'll see gusts to about 60 kilometers per hour. Best chance for rain Thursday comes later in the day, and that'll probably stick around into Friday morning. You also have some showers in the forecast for Saturday, Sunday, although at this point, it's only a chance, not a guarantee. Pretty close to a guarantee for some late day rain tomorrow for inland areas, about 7 degrees for a high. Chance of scattered showers Thursday, and then steadier rain on Friday with a high of about 10. Late day rain out on the west coast. That'll stick around into early Thursday, and then Thursday night through the day Friday. You get potentially some heavy rain. That could be 50 to 80 millimeters worth of rain for parts of the west coast. Daytime highs in the 10 to 12 degree range. 8 degrees in Comox tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies. Chance of some rain tomorrow night. Thursday, you have rain in the forecast, and then some showers as opposed to steady rain for Friday and Saturday. A little better bet Friday as opposed to Saturday. Sunday looks drier. Same in Nanaimo. Should be just a mix of sun and cloud for the back half of the weekend. 11 degrees on Saturday with rain in the morning. As far as the next couple of days in Nanaimo, tomorrow, just looking at some increase in cloud, high of about 9. Tomorrow evening, we'll likely see some rain move in, and then periods of rain or occasional showers on Thursday and Friday. Doesn't look like much more than maybe 10 to 20 millimeters worth. 3 degrees in Victoria tomorrow morning. 9 in the afternoon. Mix of sun and cloud. You get a chance of a shower tomorrow night, although pretty scattered in nature. Same goes late Thursday. Friday looks a little steadier. Saturday as well. Could see some steadier pockets of rain in the 9 and some sun breaking through the clouds on Sunday. And daytime highs, as we said, pretty close to or above average for the next 4 or 5 days. CTV weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So you won't need the umbrella nonstop, Nafisa, but having it handy is not a bad idea.
All right, purse-sized it is. Thanks, Josh. Well, we now have proof that our province's wildlife could be getting a lot smarter. This is a sea wolf pulling a line on a crab trap to get it out of the water near Bella Bella. The wolf then picks up the trap with its mouth, moves it to shallower water, and then eats the bait inside. Researchers say they thought the traps were being damaged by marine mammals, and they were shocked to find a sea wolf behind it. Cameras also recorded a second sea wolf pulling up a trap in a similar way earlier this year, leading researchers to believe other wolves in the local pack may have learned from each other. Fascinating. Well, one day after Mark Carney's government narrowly dodged a bullet and a Christmas election, the opposition made it clear, don't expect smooth sailing ahead. CTV's Mike LeCouture now on what happened in the House today.
I declare the motion carried on division.
Another day, another confidence vote that the Liberals survive.
No, there's going to be one a day for a long time.
Behind the sarcasm is some truth about votes to come. Yesterday's budget vote only passed because a number of opposition MPs abstained.
We hope that opposition parties will continue to dialogue constructively with us about how we can potentially make those things better, but mostly so that we can make Parliament work.
But the Bloc Québécois is promising a rough ride.
So they will live the same anxiety that we have seen this morning, because at each step of this long process, including the committee, they will have to start all over again because they were not good partners for anybody.
Some opposition MPs said they reluctantly voted to pass the budget instead of plunging the country into a Christmas election.
Maybe 6 of one, half dozen the other, but the country's got to change direction.
There will be other confidence votes as the budget works its way through the implementation process. And one NDP MP who abstained yesterday says his support isn't guaranteed.
Absolutely confident that I'll be holding this government to account, and we'll be fighting hard for everyday people.
And the Prime Minister says his budget is for those same people who need social programs like childcare, dental care, and pharmacare.
I salute the 170 members of the House who supported it. I'm glad it came through, and we're going to continue to work on implementing it.
The Prime Minister now heads to the UAE and the G20. And because of how close last night's vote was, it's unlikely the Liberals will test the confidence of the House until Mark Carney returns next week. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, Taylin gives back. Adam finds out how a young woman is overcoming a debilitating condition by living life to the fullest. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
107.3 Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
Finally, Adam finds out how a young woman is overcoming adversity by giving back and occasionally singing a silly song on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Oh, chickery chick, chilla, chilla, chilla.
Long before Taylin McGill started singing what she calls the chicken song,
can't you see a chickery chick busy?
her mom, Erin, started worrying about her then newborn's health.
I guess it's mother's intuition.
At just 10 days old, baby Taylin was diagnosed with a rare and life-threatening brain infection.
It felt like a punch in the gut. The prognosis was not good for Taylin.
Taylin suffered traumatic brain damage, her first of countless seizures since, and spent the first 3 months of her life at the Children's Hospital.
It was absolutely devastating.
While she was told her daughter wouldn't be able to walk or talk and would struggle with memory and fine motor skills, Erin decided to focus on the positive.
On the things that she could do rather than the things that she could not do.
And what it turned out Taylin could do really well was spread joy.
She's like the bubbles in sparkly water.
Like when Taylin was heading into one of the 14 brain surgeries she'd endured by the time she turned 7.
I didn't think I would survive.
Yet, she started singing her chicken song to the doctors and nurses.
They stopped what they were doing and they just stood with their, with their gloves on and their hats on, and they just stood and smiled, and it was just a moment of joy.
And Taylan's been striving to inspire smiles ever since.
I am grateful for every day. I just want to give back any way I can.
So, when she's not making keychains that say never give up, or crafting Christmas trees on canvas to raise money for the Children's Hospital, Taylan's giving inspiring speeches about overcoming adversity.
Life is short, and I think Taylan taught us that we need to live for each and every moment.
Although Taylan still faces challenges, she can now do many of the things she was told she wouldn't, which along with her family and healthcare team, she credits with 3 things.
Never give up, seize every day, and have a song in your heart every day.
What's the song in your heart?
The chicken song. Chicory chick, chilla chilla.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Sawasan.
A chicory chick is me.
It is better than the chicken dance. Well, that is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News, a truck and SUV sprayed with bullets while people inside this home were fast asleep. The latest troubling shooting in a rash of extortion-related violence. Also tonight.
It's very hard when you get older and start losing bits here and there.
Futuristic feeder. Seniors at a BC care home are the first to use a brand new mobility aid powered by AI. And
wow, yes, we weren't anticipating seeing this.
Dragging in dinner. BC researchers looking at what might be the first recorded tool use by a wild wolf.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with what police say is another extortion-related shooting. This time, gunshots rang out at a home in Abbotsford overnight, leaving a truck and an SUV in the driveway peppered with bullets. Police say it happened close to 3:45 a.m. in the 2500 block of Jansen Street. According to investigators, people in the home were asleep at the time, and there are no reported injuries. They call it a targeted incident related to an ongoing extortion investigation. People living in the area tell CTV News having this violence so close to home has left them shaken.
What did you hear? It's around like 3 to 4 o'clock when I hear the 3 to 4 gunshots, and I just got scared what happened. So I see in the window and I see the car, and after that it's really scary for me. Yeah.
Abbotsford police say the investigation is in the early stages, and they're asking anyone with home security footage or dash cam video to get in touch. No arrests have been made after a man was stabbed to death in downtown Vancouver in the middle of the afternoon. Reports of a stabbing came in around 3:15 yesterday on Granville Street near Helmkin. Police say the victim, who has not been identified, later died in hospital. Anyone with information is asked to contact the VPD. Search and rescue crews have been scouring the trails at the top of Grouse Mountain for a Surrey senior who went missing during a weekend hike. 84-year-old Won Kil Kim is an avid hiker who took the tram to the top of Grouse on Sunday. When he didn't return home that night, he was reported missing, and investigators discovered this image of the Surrey senior from a trail camera taken at noon on Sunday. For 2 days now, North Shore Rescue and crews from other nearby jurisdictions have been searching for Kim.
We've got a dog, a search dog, doing the trails also. They were the first ones up before any other searchers went up. So we're just redoing everything up there in a much more deliberate way and getting further off the trail to either side to see if we can see any sign of a disturbance.
Today's search has been halted due to darkness, but it's not being called off. Crews will be back out tomorrow if weather permits. There are questions tonight about why a woman who uses a wheelchair and her senior-aged caregiver were discharged from a Fraser Valley hospital, even though they say staff knew they were homeless with no shelter plans in place. Simone Dudenhofer and Peter Hunt say they became homeless after their rental place sold. They eventually ended up living in a tent in an Abbotsford park. But during heavy rains earlier this month, they say that tent flooded. Simone, a recovering addict, says her prescribed pain medications were destroyed, along with a street drug she was taking to wean her off heroin. Meanwhile, Peter injured his hand, and both ended up in the ER at Abbotsford Regional Hospital. They say staff knew they were homeless, but discharged them anyway.
The head nurses said, basically, we should go to welfare. We will pay for your cab to the ministry. We've talked to somebody there. Yeah. And they have a place for you to go.
But when they got there, a social service office says they say ministry staff told the pair they were not aware of their situation and no shelter beds had been arranged. CTV News asked Fraser Health if it failed to follow its own discharge policies for vulnerable patients, but did not receive a response by deadline. The Vancouver Humane Society is raising concerns over an alarming trend. Requests for emergency veterinary assistance have reached unprecedented levels. The organization's McVitie Fund provides life-saving vet care for pets in low-income households across BC. The society says it's struggling to keep up with the growing need. So far this year, it has processed more than 2,000 applications. By comparison, in 2020, the fund had under 200 applications. Most applicants rely on some kind of social assistance, leaving nothing to put away in case of a pet emergency.
They can come on very fast, they can be very costly, and can mean the difference between life and death for their pets.
The program also supports those fleeing domestic violence. Advocates say the fund is incredibly important for women, as animals are a source of comfort and continuity during difficult times. The province is pumping the brakes on its electric vehicle mandates, acknowledging its current targets aren't realistic. BC has legislated lofty goals. 26% of new 2026 car sales were mandated to be zero emissions, 90% in 2030, and all new car sales in BC in 2035 were to be zero emissions. However, concerns about a lack of charging stations and economic headwinds amplified by the removal of federal and provincial rebates have all contributed to a slump in sales.
Have to have targets that we can reach. And I think putting out a target that you can't reach just means period after period when our enormous success is treated as disappointment. I think we should have targets we can reach, and I think people believe and support that.
BC leads the country in electric vehicle sales and charging stations. Ottawa recently paused its more modest targets for 2026 while it undertakes a review of its policy. The province says it plans to introduce new laws this spring to recalibrate its targets, hopefully in line with Ottawa's new goals. And while BC says it won't bring back its rebates, it hopes Ottawa does. Well, with winter around the corner, TransLink is preparing for snowy weather by rolling out its winter preparedness plan. TransLink fleet 500 more buses than last year with improved traction ahead of the winter season. About 1,100 buses total, or 70% of the fleet, will be fitted with Michelin Grip D tires, which have the highest winter rating for bus tires. TransLink says cold conditions can slow service and make things unpredictable, but commuters should be able to get information almost immediately.
Media staff will also have the information live. And really the purpose of this is to make sure that our customers have the information, the most up-to-date information, in the palm of their hands. Because that information will be able to equip our customers to be able to be prepped for the winter weather.
SkyTrain service will also be stepped up with attendance at the front of trains for manual braking to limit delays. TransLink's winter travel guide encourages riders to check service alerts before leaving home. Well, after the break, we'll check in with the Vancouver Whitecaps as they gear up for their do-or-die playoff match this weekend. But first,
we knew the Wolves are intelligent, but this just shows a new facet of behavior we haven't seen before.
Look at what the wolf dragged in. What local researchers were shocked to see on their wildlife cameras. As CTV News at 5 continues. West Van police are on the lookout for dashcam video in a case of extreme speeding and dangerous driving. On October 30th, they clocked this white Chrysler going 194 kilometers an hour up the sea to sky toward Porto Cove. The driver was arrested shortly after with the help of a spike belt. Meantime, a work truck was impounded for 7 days near Hope after BC Highway Patrol clocked the driver going 110 kilometers per hour in a 60-kilometer construction zone. Well, scientists have long known wolves are highly social and intelligent, but new evidence captured on camera is being described as jaw-dropping. Would you believe that one wolf has figured out how to use a tool invented by humans? Here's CTV's St. John Alexander with the remarkable video.
That's not a dog playing fetch, but a wolf with a buoy in its mouth. She wasn't trained to do this, but somehow knew her effort would pay off.
We always have known that, how smart and how intelligent, wolves are.
The images were captured by researchers who've been trying to learn even more about the animals, in particular in the Sooke Nation. They were also trying to solve a mystery, why so many crab traps were being damaged. So they set up cameras and audio recorders.
And we thought, maybe we'd see a seal going by or we'd see a mink going by and we might get a bit of a hint as to what's doing this.
There were clues. Buoys were munched up like chew toys. But it couldn't be a bear, couldn't be a wolf, because the traps were set way out in deep water. Yet the eye of the camera told a different story.
Wow. Yes. We weren't anticipating seeing this.
After getting out of the water, a quick shake to dry off, somehow the wolf knew to reach down, get hold of the line, and reel in the trap. She also knew all of it had to come in, because the goodies, that's the bait, were in the orange cup.
It's not surprising that they're able to figure something like this out. Like, they are just so intelligent. They are so much like us. There's a lot of familiarity there.
So far, researchers don't believe the wolf was after some crab and was quite satisfied by the snack in the bait cup. However, she may surprise them yet. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
The countdown is on to Saturday's Western Conference semifinal at BC Place, and the Vancouver Whitecaps are fully focused on going where no Whitecaps side has gone before. The Caps will host rivals LAFC in front of more than 53,000 fans at a sold-out BC Place. It's the third straight year the two sides are meeting in the playoffs, but this time around, it's a one-game win-or-go-home matchup. Now, in Vancouver's 16 seasons in Major League Soccer, they've never made the Western Conference final. It's already been a historic season for the Caps, but they say they're not done yet.
Our fans can look forward for the game. We are happy to be there, but our mission is not done yet. We're thinking about only this game, but yeah, we have more plans.
Saturday night's match will be the first for the Whitecaps in 3 weeks after defeating FC Dallas in the first round. After the break, how a high-tech addition to mealtimes is bringing smiles around the table to a BC seniors care home. And later, it was a doomed voyage, and someone could own a piece of it. A gold watch belonging to a prominent passenger who died when the Titanic sank is going up for sale. Boss Ann's forecast is next. A beautiful look at English Bay from our tower camera, and zero complaints when it looks like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. The clouds we had earlier on clearing out quite nicely. We'll see clear conditions as we head through the overnight. Different story for the North Coast as well as Haida Gwaii. We do have our front moving its way in, and that is going to bring in some strong winds for Haida Gwaii starting tomorrow morning, continuing through the day. Winds from the southeast at 90 kilometers an hour, gusting to 110 kilometers an hour. You'll see mostly sunny skies from Kamloops right down to Sooke with temperatures between 6 and 8 degrees. Revelstoke, Cranbrook, and Nelson will see some showers with temperatures between 5 and 8. A mix of sun and cloud for the central interior. Cool temperatures between -1 and 3 degrees. Cloudy along the coast for Bella Coola with a high of 7 degrees for the northern half of the province. Wet and windy for Massa with that wind warning in place. 8 degrees. Overcast skies for Dease Lake, Prince Rupert, and Terrace. Lots of sunshine for the northeast corner of the province. For the North Island, overcast skies for Port Hardy. 8 degrees. degrees. You'll see a few breaks for Campbell River and Comox, also seeing highs to 8 degrees. For the South Island, cloudy skies for Tofino and Port Alberni. A few sunny breaks from Nanaimo right down to Victoria, with temperatures between 8 and 9 for the Sunshine Coast. You'll see cloudy skies with a high of 7 up the Sea to Sky Highway. A few sunny breaks, mostly cloudy, temperatures between 3 in Whistler and 9 in Squamish. And for us across the Lower Mainland, we'll see mostly cloudy conditions as well. A few sunny breaks with temperatures at 9 degrees across the board. Heading into Thursday, clouds over fully once again, reaching double-digit highs at 10 degrees. We'll see a few showers on Friday. Rain returns on Saturday with a high of 10, and then on Sunday, we'll see cloudy skies with a few showers and a high of 9. So a couple more dry days in store before you have to bring your umbrellas once again.
We're used to that. We live in Vancouver.
It's November.
Yeah. Thanks, Anne.
You're welcome.
Well, now to a helping hand that turned into a robotic arm. A BC long-term care facility is embracing a high-tech tool that came from a fundraiser inspired by some occupational therapists. CTV's Yvonne Raymond shows us the results are putting smiles on faces around the dinner table.
Now it says good morning.
A robotic arm that Audrey Harry has dubbed Edward the Eater is turning heads with a smile, or in this case, through a demo.
It makes meal times fun, and it's great entertainment for my table mates. They love watching me eat, and they comment on whether the spoon's working properly, whether it's too full or whether it took too big a bite. They've got lots to say about it.
Occupational therapists at her long-term care home in Victoria advocated to bring the tool to Vancouver Island.
As an OT, our job is to try to promote independence as long as possible. And so something like this is, life-changing.
I push the scoop button and it scoops a mouthful of food.
Since losing function in her hands, Audrey was being fed by staff and says she quickly took up an offer to turn to technology instead.
It's very hard when you get older and start losing bits here and there, and because I was always a very independent person, so there's a certain amount of dignity to not having to be fed.
The former nurse thinks it's easy to use.
When I'm ready for the next mouthful, I push the button again.
She agrees, though, the gadget is not for everyone.
You need to have an amount of cognition and attention that allows you to focus on everything that's happening in a dining room during a mealtime, but also be able to focus on what's happening in front of you.
For Audrey, the robot is a source of relief, giving her the power to ask for help if she needs it.
Thank you for the meal.
Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Victoria.
Still ahead, a Titanic watch could soon fetch a Titanic price. Plus,
I'll get you, my pretty.
Need something a little more wicked than these pretty ruby slippers? Well, the hat made famous by the OG Wicked Witch of the West is up for grabs. That story's coming up, and take a look at this. We'll be right back. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news from your screen to ours? When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Email us at vanttips@ctv.ca or text 10400. Britain's Royal Mint has unveiled a new coin design that marks 40 years since Queen's iconic Live Aid concert performance. The coin features an image of Freddie Mercury holding the microphone with his head thrown back. The first coin was struck by Mercury's sister at the Royal Mint in Wales last week. Freddie Mercury died in 1991 at age 45, just one day after he publicly announced he was HIV positive. Well, these two artists are putting a spin on a winter classic.
No matter, we can build a snowman.
Langley have released a cover of Winter Wonderland. This is part of Luke Bryan's 3-song EP for the holiday season. Ella Langley is nominated for 6 CMA Awards, which you can watch tomorrow night. Well, here's some delicious news. 4 of Canada's top 10 new restaurants are right here in Vancouver. That is according to a new list from Air Canada that they say captures the heart of Canadian dining. 2 omakase-style restaurants, including Sushi Hyun downtown and Sumibiyaki Arashi on East Broadway, were also added to Vancouver's Michelin Guide this year. Nirotondo, which is known for its hyper-local and seasonal menu, also got a Michelin recommend. Niwa, which is right next door on Powell Street, was also recognized for its farm-to-table fare. Now with a preview of CTV News at 6, Mi-Jung Lee.
Nafisa, police were quick to confirm a shooting in Abbotsford was extortion-related. Bullets pierced 2 cars at this home on Jansen Street just before 4 a.m. The family was inside sleeping. Nobody was hurt. The steps volunteers are now taking in the neighborhood. And a giant freight barge near Bella Bella is taking on water. Officials are concerned about the potential impact on the environment if containers fall in, what the Health-Sick First Nation is saying. And the BC Conservatives are slamming the NDP for not doing anything about a homeless encampment under the Oak Street Bridge that they say is dangerous. I'll be back at 6. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mi-Jung. A famous watch from an infamous shipwreck may break records when it heads to auction soon. Plus, a wicked cool hat from a wicked witch is up for grabs. CNN's Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A fascinating relic recovered from the Titanic disaster may soon become the most expensive item from the famous shipwreck ever auctioned. English auction house Henry Aldridge & Son says this 18-karat gold pocket watch belonged to prominent businessman Isidore Straus, who, along with his wife Ida, perished in the shipwreck, dramatized famously in this scene from the James Cameron film. In reality, the couple allegedly met their fate arm in arm on the ship's deck, and Straus's watch was later recovered, frozen in time at 2:20 a.m., the moment the ship sank. 113 years later, the repaired timepiece will now go to auction along with a letter pinned from the doomed ship by Mrs. Straus. The auction house says the watch alone is expected to fetch around $1.3 million, which would make it one of the most expensive Titanic artifacts ever sold. If that fancy watch seems a little too rich, how about a famous hat from a famous witch? U.S.-based Heritage Auctions will soon offer up the iconic black hat worn by actor Margaret Hamilton, who played the sneering Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz. The hat features a nearly 20-inch brim and stands 14 inches tall and sports a starting bid of $100,000, but could easily exceed expectations. After all, the film's famous ruby slippers were expected to fetch $3 million and ended up selling in 2024 for a record-breaking $28 million. So if you're an Oz fan and this Hollywood hat has you thinking,
I'll get you, my pretty,
you'd better start saving your pennies. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
You could sell the jet and get yourself a new hat and watch.
Maybe another jet.
All right. Another jet. It's a little late for Canadians, but Heinz is serving up something new for leftover lovers ahead of U.S. Thanksgiving. Heinz Leftover Gravy is the first ever squeezable bottle of home-style turkey gravy designed with the ultimate day-after sandwich in mind. So if you're a fan of the sitcom Friends, remember Ross's favorite, the moist maker, the gravy-soaked bread?
For sure.
You could do that with it.
You could.
Tapping into nostalgia for millennial hosts who see Thanksgiving as more than just one meal.
But you'd have to warm it up, right?
You would.
Can't
I think so. I don't know.
Right. I don't know either.
I like gravy, though.
Me too. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot. A great day at Fisherman's Wharf. Thanks, Catherine, for sending this beautiful photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
I might put it on fries.
Oh, that's smart.
I don't know about a sandwich, but
a good poutine mix.
Yeah, well, we can think about it. But CTV's Mi-Jung Lee will be back for CTV News at 6. And right now, here is Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News. Good night.